I was born in the Bluefield Mountains. My daddy worked down in the mines, broke his back to feed a family, never dreamed beyond the West Virginia line. But I was wild, my thoughts were different. I saw no life in a deep dark hole, so I headed west to Colorado, far away from a digging dirty coal. So take me back to the Bluefield Mountains when my time comes to an end. Just let me rest in West Virginia, give my ashes to the Bluefield Mountain wind, give my ashes to the Bluefield Mountain wind. So many years, well, I did wander, just trying hard to find my way. But when you're born in West Virginia, there's coal dust running through your veins. And when the mountains live inside you, well, you can't run from where you're raised, and all the memories that you carry will stay with you until your dying day. So take me back to the Bluefield Mountains when my time comes to an end. Just let me rest in West Virginia, give my ashes to the Bluefield Mountain wind, give my ashes to the Bluefield Mountain wind. Oh, take me back to the Bluefield Mountains when my time comes to an end. Just let me rest in West Virginia, give my ashes to the Bluefield Mountain wind, give my ashes to the Bluefield Mountain wind, give my ashes to the Bluefield Mountain wind. Yeah, Bluefield Mountain wind. Went to hell and back to earn it, gave them the right to burn it, bled red, white, and blue till he died. Soldiers pulled it from his pine box, handed it to Grandma. It caught her tears as she said goodbye to a man who gave everything he had for a folded flag. There ain't a book up on that shelf beat the stories he would tell, like when the Ram fell down and they stormed Utah Beach. Son, we were scared, but when we seen them, that eagle screamed for freedom, and you could hear the thunder as we started raining steel. But so many gave everything they had for a folded flag. It sits proudly on my mantle, so I never take for granted those who stood and served, no questions asked. Some say wars, we don't need them, but they sure do love this freedom. Me, I'm thankful for the ones who breathe their last for a folded flag. Well, every now and then I sit and talk with him, say a prayer there on the Arlington grass. Lord, take care of this great nation and this don't care generation, 'cause there's still a few around like old granddad who are willing to give everything they have for a folded flag. It says proudly on my mantle, so I never take for granted those who stood and served, no questions asked. Some say wars, we don't need them, but they sure do love this freedom. Me, I'm thankful for the ones who breathe their last for a folded flag. A folded flag. For a folded flag.
Welcome back to another episode of Music and Madness with Tom and John. If you've been following us, you would know what this podcast is all about. It's a lot about music here from the Villages. We're live from the Villages, Florida. A little bit of madness. And being here, we just have had an extraordinary amount of opportunities for phenomenal musicians, and today is absolutely no different than that. We've got Ken Taylor with us. Ken is a Village resident, and Ken is a bass player. He's a professional bass player at that.
Sure is.
I would definitely call him professional. And along with that, we get these great opportunities to meet and bring in some other talent that is just off the chain. And today, we've got it. We've got Mark Brinkman and Mark Johnson. And you guys saw them play a few tunes, and hopefully they'll finish out another one for us. Absolutely phenomenal musicians. You guys should be on tour.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so true.
And these songs were written by both Marks. Mark wrote one, and Mark Brinkman has written how many songs now?
Yeah, I'm somewhere around 6,000, and
are you a good speller? You must be by now.
6,000.
I scribble, phonetic spelling.
Yeah,
you know?
that's all right. That's what they teach in school
What they
nowadays.
teach in school,
What the hell?
so whatever. Yeah, I've been real
6,000.
fortunate. So I've been writing for about 50, 60 years. So, and I've been lucky to have written 37 number one songs now. So.
And what, John, talent like that, coming to see a couple of bozos.
I
like
know,
this.
clowns. Unbelievable.
Yeah, we are
36. That's crazy.
it is
Number
crazy.
one songs. That's unbelievable.
all bluegrass country type stuff, or
A little bit of everything in country, bluegrass, Americana. I've got a couple in Southern rock, some in gospel music. So
Wow.
kind of gamut, to whatever moves you when you're writing a song, whatever comes. I write every single day. My mission statement is to drink coffee and make stuff up. That's what I do every day.
It's working.
So.
It's working.
we do the same thing, but it's not coffee. And Mark Johnson, tell us a little bit about your great, phenomenal banjo player, and you've got some other history behind that as far as your technique, and tell us about that.
Well, I was all accidental. I got discovered working at a nuclear power plant over at Crystal River back in '71 by a Grammy Award-winning bluegrass guitar player, his family. And one thing just kept leading to another. And being around him for about 8 years, you can't just go in and whack away at a banjo and play duet form with this man. You have to understand what he's doing and then how to fit in with it. And all of a sudden, I guess the way I play emerged out of it, and it's a different style of playing. And it's taken me around the world. I teach all the time. I teach celebrities. I'm a winner of the Steve Martin Prize for Excellence in Banjo. I'm the third winner. It came out in 12. I came with a check for $50,000 and an appearance on the David Letterman show.
No kidding.
That is phenomenal.
On Google, it's pretty funny. It's me,
Wow.
Letterman, and Steve Martin. But I mean, he's just a great guy, and he introduced me to Kevin Nealon. I taught him. Also, he's a banjo player, but I teach kids too. I teach anybody, and I just love to teach. I play with a fellow by the name of Emery Lester. We've been together for 27 years. I endorse with the Deering Banjo Company. I've got 2 signature models with them out of San Diego.
Wow, you're the real deal, brother.
I don't know.
What do
Yeah, you are.
All right, now it begs the question: what are you guys doing with Ken? I mean, Ken's
He's my hero.
Mine too.
no. As a trio, do you guys have a name for yourselves when you play out together, or
Just call ourselves by our name.
yeah, okay?
Brinkman, Johnson, and Taylor.
We were fooling around with the name of the Pickendales, but that probably
Instead of the
wouldn't go-
Chippendales,
Yeah,
you
right.
know.
Yeah, the Pickendales. I like that. I like that.
If I could say something here, Mark Brinkman's music is incredible. And it lends itself to my banjo style. We've been together for years. And then Ken moved into the Villages down here, and that was pretty funny. I met him at a bluegrass festival, and the band that had already grabbed him as their bass player told me, "Don't you take our bass player."
You did.
And,
No, I still play with those guys too. That's the
yeah,
backbone
we're
of
all
bluegrass.
friends. We all get along together.
The bluegrass community is a big, fun, very supportive community, and we all interact with each other professionally and as friends too.
That's
And,
great.
So it's a wonderful community. The talent that I've been able to play with down here in Florida is amazing. I was late coming to the music world. I basically moved from Philadelphia area to Massachusetts in the early 80s, and when I couldn't play basketball anymore, I had to do something else. So I took up golf and got into music. Lost a bet to a guy that played mandolin. I said, "Well, you get a mandolin, I got a bass," and never had any expectations. Just went in and played and have some fun, and all that work, because I never really toured or anything. I raised my family. I worked. I did community stuff, and so but I was able to play with some pretty good pickers up in the New England area there. So it's like it prepared me to come to Florida and run into these guys. It's wonderful.
Now, when you moved to the Villages, did you was music one of the things that drew you down here, or did you not know of all the music going on down here?
I knew there was music down here because my wife has 2 sisters that live down here. So we came down pre-COVID to check it out, and I thought it was pretty cool, but I really wasn't, ready yet. But I saw the level of talent around here. Frankly, I thought the wife and I had one more journey. We raised our kids, we did our time. It was time for the 2 of us to go ahead and do something for us.
Yeah, that's
what it is.
This is that we look at this as the last chapters, last chapters. We don't think there's any better place to be. Central Florida in particular, we're all from the north. The idiots can stay up there with the snow. We're down here. But the music and the musicians and the talent that's right here in the Villages it's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
It's not just music, it's all the arts.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, anything you want to do. They have somebody that knows how to do it and runs a club.
Oh yeah.
In that regard. So the challenge when you move into the Villages for me was what I wasn't going to do.
That's right.
Because you want to do
It's
everything
true.
and you can't.
It's
And you
true.
just after 3 months of that, plus happy hour starts at 11.
Oh yeah. Well.
So
That late?
after 3 months later and 15 pounds, you go. I got to change
Oh,
something.
I wish it was 15 pounds. Well, it was funny because when Tommy said, I got some bluegrass guys coming in, and I'm like, bluegrass? I'm from Boston. I don't know what the frig's bluegrass, And, man, I sat here and watched you guys, and if you don't tap your toe or just bounce your head, like you have a hearing problem because every song is catchy, and, man, you guys you got it going on. You really do. I loved it. It
Thanks.
was awesome.
Appreciate the
Really.
compliment.
Everybody knows a granny, an older lady that grandpa dies and then she gets a new lease on life, starts going out with other men and goes out on the town, starts living life, you know. That's where this song, I wrote this with a buddy of mine in North Carolina named Barney Rogers. So remember, it's just turn around at the end. Ready? Granny's off a rocker and gone. 1, 2, 3. Well, Grandma went crazy after Grandpa died. She'd sit in that rocker just to wring her hands and cry. But then all them new men started coming on. Now Granny's off a rocker and gone. She got Botox and lipo. She's wearing skinny jeans, high heels and low cuts, and all that fancy bling. Her brand new Ferrari don't stay at home too long, 'cause Granny's off a rocker and gone. Granny's off a rocker and gone. She's running around all over town from sunset till dawn. Maybe she's crazy, but she don't feel alone. Oh, Granny's off a rocker and gone. Pick one there. Granny likes her sweet iced tea with a little alcohol. Started line dancing and took up pickleball. She don't need assisted living. She don't need a nursing home, 'cause Granny's off a rocker and gone. Yeah, Granny's off a rocker and gone. She's running around all over town from sunset till dawn. Maybe she's crazy, but she don't feel alone. Oh, Granny's off a rocker and gone. Well, Grandma, she loved Grandpa with all her heart and soul, but now she's living on the younger side of old. Boot, Scoot, and Boogie has become her favorite song. Granny's off a rocker and gone. Granny's off a rocker and gone. She's running around all over town from sunset till dawn. Maybe she's crazy, but she don't feel alone. Oh, Granny's off a rocker and gone. Yeah, well, Granny's off a rocker and gone.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, it is very catchy, and you're exactly if you're comatose if you're not.
Yeah, I loved
There's
it.
no doubt about it.
I loved it.
So back to the songwriting. I'm 6,000 songs. Shit, I haven't read. I don't think I've
6,000
read
words.
6,000 words. But that is, I mean, that in itself, it takes a special mindset. It takes a totally. Your mind's got to be clear, I'm sure. And how do you start out writing a song?
It's kind of like a disease, because you find yourself after a while, everywhere you go, you listen to what people say or what people do, or signs. You look at signs, and oh man, that saying. I wrote a new one about Arlington on Memorial Day, because there was a sign as you go into. We were at Arlington Cemetery last year, but there's a sign that I saw flash up on the TV that said 634 acres of Why We're Free. And I said, that's a song.
Yeah.
And so I just finished a song. It's going to be recorded. There are actually several artists already interested in it, called 600 Acres of 600 Solemn Acres. It's all about Arlington. So it's just, you can write about anything.
Yeah.
It's just you have to get an angle to it and then hopefully make it interesting and universal that hopefully people will tap into it. And, you know, it's like anything, like building guitars. If you start out building guitars, your first guitar is probably not going to look too great.
Yeah.
But you build 50, and you look back and say, man, that was a piece of junk. And now I'm at 50. But then you build 100, and you look at the 50th one, you see, man, that 50th one had all kind of flaws in it. It looked like junk.
Right, yeah.
And then you build a 500, and the 300 one looks bad. So you just keep improving. It's a craft that you learn how to kind of tap into what comes out of your heart, really, what's inside. And I write a lot of emotional songs that about Alzheimer's and different things that have really hit people hard. But, you know, songwriters try to say things that people are too afraid to say, you know, because I get a lot of times, you know, I never could say that, but you hit it right on the head. That's exactly the way I feel.
Sure.
Because they've never been able to say that. Work with a lot of veterans, Guitars for Vets. I did an album with 5 songs on there I donated, but help veterans. And, you know, there's a lot of pent-up emotion in our veterans. So,
absolutely.
So there's a lot of Operation Song, and there's a lot of Operation Freedom where songwriters will pair up with a veteran and help them write a song about their life, about their experience. So things like that are very meaningful to me. You know, I've been doing it for so long. It's like breathing to me. So, but like you said, you learn. It's a craft that you learn over the years and years and years. I've been doing it. I wrote my first song probably when I was 10 years old, and that's 63 years ago. So.
Yeah.
Well, and that is the thing, too. People look at musicians sometimes and go, well, that just must be raw, natural talent. Well, it was enough talent to get them hooked. The rest of it was just damn work.
That's a good way to put it.
And a lot of it. People don't have that appreciation for all of the hours that's put in at practice and everything. The
Folded Flag song is unbelievable. I mean, when did you write that?
I wrote that a few years back. It was recorded by a guy by the name of Joe Mullins and his band. And my wife and I, we were lucky enough to be invited to the Grand Ole Opry to hear that debuted on the Grand Ole Opry.
No kidding.
And so, but it's been played several times on the Opry since. And they did a DVD, and it was a #1 song, both video and on the record. But it's a powerful song. And
very. Yeah.
And that's the kind of song I love to write, but not everybody, you know, it's not going to make the radio too much because everybody wants the fast how you can, you know, Dick Clark, I like it, you can dance to it, you know, and all that. But so I enjoy that because it affects people, and I hear from people literally all over the world when they say that song got to me, you know, and it really helped me through.
Who's the biggest star that's ever recorded one of your songs?
Oh, I don't know.
If you could pick one.
Well, probably the Isaacs, which are huge in gospel music. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They did one called Beyond the Rain. Ken sings that at his church all the time, quite a bit. And it was, it's been recorded over 100 times in the gospel market. So
it's in some hymnals, I think.
It's in 3 or 4 hymnals now. And to have that as kind of a legacy, to leave your mark somewhere. You know, but I love doing it too. You know, I just love, and I like writing funny songs. Yeah. You know, Biscuits and Gravy and,
that's hilarious.
And Granny's All for Rocker. We got a bunch of those, and we don't laugh enough. And I really enjoy. I think I listen to the radio now. They're missing some of the fun. You know, the funny songs. Yeah. That just are make you laugh. You know.
Sure.
You're right. Everybody needs that in life. There's no doubt about it. So. Yeah.
So Ken, you do sing?
I do.
You do. Okay.
I do. Yeah. I didn't start till I was about 40. You know, you talk about talent level. Well, talent is really 90% perspiration, and I am living proof of that.
Yeah.
You know, just doing your time and working on it. People say, "Boy, that was great what you did." And, you know, it must be. I said, "Well, you know, what were you doing during the football game last Sunday?" They go, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, I was running scales. I was trying to figure out a Brink song here."
Yeah. In the instrumental, Mark, that you wrote, how do you just play it on banjo, and these guys, do you write all 3?
That song in particular, we recorded up in, I work with another guy named Emery Lester, We've been together 27 years in the Opry, been all over the place. We were recording in Browntown, Virginia, which is south of Front Royal, deep in the mountains there. It's a beautiful house, George Hotchkiss's house. And I would get up early in the morning and just sit on the porch, and that one popped out in 5 minutes.
No kidding.
So they come downstairs in their pajamas, and Emery's got his mandolin. He goes, "Let's catch that right now." And we went
So you actually write it?
No.
You just play it.
I'm terribly dyslexic, blind in one eye. We all listen. We're listeners.
Yep.
We listen deeply to each other. When we're on stage up there, we're tuned in so tight to each other that we know where we're going. We play, the familiarity and the synergy is there.
So you sit down, you play it, you just start riffing, play it once, and then you say, "Oh, we got to catch this."
Yeah, and just repeat it again, and just right there.
Wow,
in my
that's
head
pretty
like
cool.
that. And,
Kind of the same thing you do after your first Bloody Mary. It's like, I got to have another one. I'm hooked now.
I do have to say something about Mark Brinkman. We just started working in the Wounded Warriors Project. I've been doing that for years. We finally got to we've stepped it up again just before COVID hit. We take our music down. His music is stunningly beautiful down there, and they just gravitate to it. Then COVID hit, and they locked everything down. So we're getting ready to talking about going down and doing that again. But I've been doing that for years also.
Now, where is that at? Just
down here at James A. What's the name?
You know, the Orlando VA and
the Tampa VA, right
the
there.
hospital, and spent the whole day there playing different wards, and then went to the cafeteria and played for the people in the cafeteria.
No kidding.
Then we played for the last section was the very severe folks that are usually in totally paralyzed.
Sure.
And you can tell they can't move, a lot of them, but you can tell they really...
It's going.
It's in there.
Yeah.
They're hearing it, and it's in there. And there's nothing more rewarding than that, really.
Yeah.
It's all put back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wrote this one. It's an instrumental without words, so he sings it.
That's the best thing about music. It connects so many things across this world. Music is just a great connection for people. And
bluegrass is like that because there's so much jamming. A lot of music you don't jam. Country music, they don't have jam sessions. And where we get out, like at Withlacoochee, which is up by Denell in the campground, they have a huge festival there when we played it. But what's cool is you may get lawyers, and then you get plumbers, and you get this, and you have left and right and liberals and conservatives and everybody, and nobody cares.
Right.
We're just people. We love the music.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're laughing and you're having a good time, and the world goes away, and that's the way it should be. And so that's one of the reasons we migrate to that. The bluegrass, it's a real community, as Ken was talking about. It's a real community, accepting community of really literally everybody. Nobody cares. If you can strum on a guitar, you're welcome.
You're in, yeah.
John, there's a few exceptions. You may not make it.
Oh, no. Are you kidding me? I'm a bluegrass guy now. I'm loving this shit. Are you kidding me?
One of the things about Ken Taylor is he's a serious musician. He reads music. He charts. You give him a song, he charts it out. We bring the music to him. He'll sit there and chart it. He'll work his ass off in order to get it. And this stuff that Mark and I do, it's complicated stuff. We work hard at it.
Yeah.
He'll take it home and drive his wife nuts learning it, and he'll nail it. And that's what's so much fun about playing with Ken Taylor.
That's amazing. His buddy Sal told me he was a moron, but
Well, when they used to introduce a song up in New England, they'd say, Ken's going to sing a song now, more on that.
Well,
That's a good one, Ken. I like that.
in my midlife, I sang a little bit in church, and that's when I kind of got the bug for music a little. And my father-in-law used to say, I'm all right as long as you learn how to sing far, far away.
There you go.
So...
Getting back to your point, Tom, though, is that I think we all feel that we're ambassadors to the music. That we're supposed to embrace this music and pass it on to other people, give it to the next generation, turn people onto it. You never know who you can affect. I've played shows and people have come up to me and said, I was there 2 years ago and you really moved me with this or that or the other thing. And, I just think it's important that you be humble and you pass it on to the next generation and pass it on to whoever wants to listen to it.
Right. And that actually goes for most all genres of music. Yeah. I mean, even there's stuff that doesn't tune into us. It's tuning into somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
And John and I, we discussed kind of how we were going to do this thing in the beginning, and it's the doors are open, all genres. We don't know if there's any rappers in the Villagers, but if there are, they may make it in here. Because, like you said, somebody's connected to that somehow.
Right.
And it does make a difference in your life. There's no doubt about it. It's not just alcohol that makes you smile.
No. And I'm sure when you guys played the VA, man, that's probably the highlight of their year, I'm sure. I spent a lot of time up at Children's Hospital in younger years, and, bands would come in and just a one-man guy would play, and just like down in the cafeteria. And boy, that brightens a lot of days. Music is it's phenomenal. And that's the highlight of their year, I'm sure.
I was doing a lot of work during the war years, the hard war years, like 06 to 09, 12 right there, and the combat wounded were coming down to Tampa. And then you're not human if you don't break down 2 or 3 times like you're down in there.
Totally.
Oh, I'm sure.
So we go in this one room. It's pretty funny, actually. There's a Marine colonel in there. He'd been shot through the head. He'd been healed back, and his scalp, his bone was missing out of his scalp. You could put a softball in the gap right there. And they says he was shot through the head, and he's got a little bit of a problem communicating. So we'll go play, no problem. And it was me and a guy named Mitch Lynn and Rick Meyer. And we went in there. His beautiful wife standing there. And we go in, and he goes, "Hey, Colonel, it's Mark Johnson again. We're going to came here to play some music." He goes, "Do you guys know any Bill Monroe?" Just like this. I look at him, I go, "You darn right we know some Bill Monroe."
No kidding.
He was square on. I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
And they rebuilt his whole skull.
That's unbelievable.
And he had a little bit of speech impediment. But you see miracles going on there.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny. One guy, I went in the room and sang for him, and when I was leaving, just had my guitar, and And I said, well, I sure hope you get better. He said, well, I sure hope you do too. Ching, you know.
That's hilarious.
Well, it's something that people even look forward to, like even in retirement homes and that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It's
It's the best audience in the world, really.
yes.
I used to play in a Civil War reenactment band up in Massachusetts. It was kind of modeled after the Massachusetts 25th. And these guys had they were reenactors that said, this music sucks. We're going to go do it ourselves and do it right. And we had this real wholesome sound. It was supposed to sound like soldiers that marched all day and sitting around a campfire and playing. We would play these assisted living facilities, and I'm telling you, tears would come down people's eyes. Old Kentucky Home and all those great old Foster songs and all that stuff. Wait for the Wagon and the Mermaid, and that's when I really saw how powerful music is.
100%.
You know,
Yep.
those people, and they would sing along. They couldn't remember what they did yesterday.
That's right.
But they could sing those
They know
songs.
I'll tell you, my father was in the dementia ward right in the Villages, and same thing, man. The music would come in, and boy, he didn't remember who I was half the time, but toe tapping, singing,
Right.
you know, knew the words. It was unbelievable, and everyone swarmed to the band. It was great, you know.
It's one of the reasons we do it.
Yeah, it's God's work. I love it. I love it.
This whole podcast here and the work you guys did was amazing. We were all pretty impressed. We're using that to advertise that we are for hire.
Yeah.
Right.
And that you can get in touch with me or Mark Brinkman.
Or me.
Or,
here's what we're going to be doing on the website. We are going to, of course, have access to all of our guests who want to give the public access to them, by one form or another. Also, we want to take and put a calendar for everybody who's been here so that people can see when and where they're going to play. And our whole goal from this thing is to take and bring awareness, not that there's not plenty, but more awareness to all the music that goes on down here, all the connections. And it's just, Ken, you're right, it's just not music that there's connections to people in the villages, but we got 150,000 people in here.
Right.
They're connected to everything.
Going to 250, I think.
Yeah, and likely. And we just
3 months.
We really are village believers. We think that there's been no place. Well, I guess they let us in. That's a good start, but not too many other places that you could come and have all of this variety. And music is just something we love, and we think it's a great deal. Guys, promise us you'll come back.
Oh yeah,
we definitely want to come back.
I'm a
and
bluegrass fan, man.
Yeah. Any of your songs you're writing, that kind of stuff, we'll have access to however much you want to let out through our website, and so that our listeners can stay connected to you guys and vice versa. So
we didn't expect an invite. Thank you.
Absolutely.
We absolutely. Yeah. Hey, we're honored to have. You guys are definitely the real deal.
Yeah.
Not that all of our guests aren't real musicians, because they are.
I would love to hear the Beatles guys.
Yeah.
You'll see them.
You'll see them on the podcast.
Wow.
We'll give you all the info. But yeah, they were great. They were great.
All right, guys. Again, absolutely appreciate it. We'll stay in touch, and it was a pleasure having you guys. Will you guys run one out for us?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thanks,
for having
guys.
us.
All right, guys.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks
very much.
All right, that's a wrap.
Her country smile made me a believer. Like Johnny Cash, we married in a fever. That woman, she always drives me crazy, but I love her more than biscuits and gravy. And when we fight, I always surrender. When we said I knew it was forever. Together two, we're pushing up daisies. I love her more than biscuits and gravy. Well, I promised her the land of milk and honey, but we're drinking beer and eating fried bologna. I work 2 jobs, she still calls me lazy. Oh, but I love her more than biscuits and gravy. And when we fight, I always surrender. When we said I do, I knew it was forever. Together till we're pushing up daisies. I love her more than biscuits and gravy. Now she complains we're always out of money and tells me that my jokes just ain't funny. But when I screw up, she's always there to save me. That's why I love her